We are live at the moment. I am so excited to be talking with everyone at Athleisure Mag. Today, I'm Kimmie Smith, co-founder and creative style director of Athleisure Media, which is Athleisure Mag, as well as our very fun feature that a lot of you guys know about, our must-haves, the 9 list. And I am beyond excited to be sitting with the creative director of Sequin Jewelry, Malkovich. In terms of before we get into this, my history with the brand has been, when we first started our magazine, so that was way back in 2016 in January, our very first shoots had pieces from Sequin that we styled in. And I love the fact that we could, put them with fitness items and night outs and all these different things. So the fact that we're here today at the showroom many years later is a full 360 moment. And what we're doing today is the 9 list times Sequin Jewelry holiday layering style. We're going to talk about the brand. We're going to talk about, how does Tara make these amazing pieces? What's her process? How does she get into this? And of course, we're delving into what are some holiday layer styles that you could be wearing when we're in the thick of all of the fun stuff that we're doing, from, holiday parties, impromptu types of situations that we're sitting at. So we've got all that for you. And then even if you don't catch this right away, you're seeing it in the replay, hearing it on the podcast, which will happen later on, this week. You'll be able to go to our 9list.com/shop the show, which is going to allow you to see all the pieces, this whole photo shoot that we have that I can't wait to share with you about, and also to buy these pieces for yourself for your own holiday moments, as well as various giftables that you can do with other people. So if you guys are ready, because I have been waiting for weeks to do this, we are now going to take it with Tara to figure out all the things that we need to know, and she's so lovely, and I appreciate you giving us the time.
My pleasure.
So I, as I said before, have been a fan of the brand for a number of years, and I've included a lot of the pieces personally in the shoots. For those that aren't familiar, can you give us some history on the brand?
Well, let's see. The brand started about, I would say, 20 plus years ago. And it was, it began by working on private label as well as runway shows.
Wow.
Including Bachelor Mishka.
Which is amazing.
And I came on board in 2007. And I started to work on the Sequin collection as well as the Bachelor Mishka runway collaborations.
And I remember going to those shows, so now I'm thinking, that's around the time when I first started going to New York Fashion Week, so that was you. As you're home, we're like, yeah, that's me. So, you're the creative director of Sequin. Can you tell me about your background prior to coming to this brand?
Sure. Let's see, how far are you in the back?
I mean, I want it all, because there's a lot of stuff that you're talking about here. And I want to know, where did this all come from?
Well, let's see. I went to Rhode Island School of Design, and my major was painting. And I fell into jewelry because I needed to work during my, summers and breaks to, afford to go to college. So I fell into costume jewelry, and I worked with a designer here in New York who really taught me everything. And I mentored with him for many years. And that's where I learned model making and just putting, designing collections and the whole process of design in the costume jewelry.
Wow, that's fantastic. And what ended up leading you to come to Sequin, and what have you enjoyed about being with this brand?
Well, let's see. I started in 2007, and before that I had been with other design houses, and Sequin it was very serendipitous. I had my first child, my only child, and I was looking for a change. And I just stumbled upon it. I heard from somebody that I knew, and this was a new brand, and they were looking for a designer, and just walked in and met Linda, and that was it.
That is fantastic, and the fact that you've been able to have your fingerprint on this brand for this many years is amazing.
Well, I think that this has been a wonderful journey in collaboration. Linda, the owner, is, she loves, as well as I do, history and antiquity, and so therefore we've done a lot of traveling, and we've been able and been afforded to go to a lot of amazing places that have really inspired a lot of different collections over the years.
And you can really see that in your pieces because you do feel like you're being transported even if you're, wherever you happen to be at the moment, which is really amazing. As a stylist, when I'm thinking about pulling a look together, and when I'm talking to designers, we always talk about that we pull from inspiration, a thought, a feeling, a song. Like there's just something that's like nagging in our brain. Where do you get inspired from? Obviously travel, but there has to be a lot going on in there.
Oh yes, I mean, not only travel, but my own backyard. It really, I think creativity is something that I strive to explore every day. So, jewelry is one media in which to explore creativity. Inspiration comes from every day. It could be a walk on a beautiful spring day and the beautiful blossoms coming to life. It could be going to a museum and seeing an incredible painting from the expressionists. It could be a piece of music, like you said, classical, or it all comes and is derived from something that I experience every day.
Do you ever find yourself that you had an inspiration like 5 years ago and it's still in your brain to do it, but it hasn't come forward yet, and then when you finally do, you're like, oh.
Yes. I mean, I think one thing that I'm always inspired by nature, especially the ocean and these natural artifacts that you find. When I was a little girl and I would walk along the beach, and I loved finding natural treasures and putting them together, so you really feel like you've sort of found something from an ancient time that is now has come to life, and you can take it and make it into something very personal.
And where is Sequin sold? Obviously it's on the website, but where else can people find Sequin?
It's mostly, again, direct to consumer through our website. We're also at Neiman Marcus and Revolve.
That's awesome.
And again, I think that we're in a place right now where it's so much about being able to access social media that then takes you to our website and creating the jewelry experience through social media. That's sort of the new media.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's it. It's a very crowded place, so we really try to, in an innovative ways, bring the jewelry experience, the sequin jewelry experience to life through social media.
So who is the sequin woman? I mean, I have styled sequin actually on men and women because you make some beautiful talisman. Like there's a lot of pieces that you can really play with, but who is that sequin person?
Well, I think she's a lot of people. I think that, again, our pieces are unique, and they're really, they come from a very pure place in terms of creativity, if you will. So, I think it's someone that appreciates art and history and just, the natural world, and really wants to carve out their own look.
Yeah.
Because I think as women, especially, I think you really get empowerment through what we put on, jewelry, clothes, and we're in such a new place. And I think jewelry is a way, and sequin jewelry is a great way to have that personal expression come out.
I agree with you. I know that, before I started styling, I was an accessory expert first, and finding that you could change these personalities, just like you say. Just a simple outfit could be one way, but then you're putting on these different layers, and you really get to approach maybe liking new colors and liking new elements, because you can find it in the accessories first and then let it trail, the other way. How many collections a season or a year do you guys do?
Well, I think that, we want to, for the most part, I would say it's seasonless. But certainly there are, times, whether it's resort or holiday, that we want to really imbue the jewelry with certain attributes, so that if you're looking to go away somewhere, you can find your looks at sequin, and that will include, things that you would wear on a getaway. Whether it's, a beautiful sculpted shell earring or, freshwater pearls, things like that. or if it's, you know, we're coming into holiday, and I think right now it's all about the sparkle and the magic, and really kind of that pursuit of magic. And
I think magic.
Yes,
We need it all.
and I think that, you know, our talismans and all that, you know, mysticism that we, you know, have in our evil eyes and our celestial collections and talismans have some of that magic built in.
Absolutely. And so what are the current collections that are offered that were maybe new for this fall and holiday season, which we will be going into some of them in more detail a little bit later on?
Well, for fall, I did a deep dive into ancient Egypt, and my inspiration was Cleopatra. So I was really exploring that from every angle, from, you know, ancient art and antiquity to contemporary writers that have written about her. She was such an alluring, really just powerful woman from antiquity. That's very elusive in a lot of ways, very powerful, has endured for nearly 3,000 years. And, you know, just in that search for sort of when and how and what was happening at that time, you know, and whether it was the pearls she would wear. And pearls were considered the gems of the ancient world. And so really, you know, integrating that beautiful pearl natural element into the collection. But as well, you know, when Cleopatra was queen, she slammed into Rome, and those worlds collided. And when that happened, you know, you had Julius Caesar and you had, you know, Cleopatra, and I was imagining what that combination looked like in like a piece of jewelry. So you have sort of the mysticism of ancient Egypt, but you also have some of the Roman iconography, like the laurel leaves, you know, just those little details, and sort of the powers that were happening, the power struggles that were going on at that time.
Do you know, in terms of just me asking, the pearls at that time, did they have the different types of pearls that kind of like we have now with different gradients and tones? Like, do you know, just from Egypt? Like,
well, they were all natural, meaning they were, you know, they were taken from the ocean, from mussels or oysters, and so they were not, you know, what we have now, which is, you know, freshwater and farm raised, and you know, we figured out a way to make that process happen, which is, the process itself is very interesting because it's the animal, actually, when you have that little grain of something that gets into the shell, they basically, in order to protect themselves, they form this coating around this little infection, if you will, and that's what becomes a pearl. So the whole pearl identity is a form of protection.
Exactly, a problem that became beautiful later.
Exactly.
So in terms of archive pieces or pieces that may have been original to the brand, do you still draw back from those? Do you guys make those accessible on the site in other ways?
Yes, I would say, you know, we started doing the whole talisman coins. It really started with the star map. And that is, you know, something we keep evolving, but it's a permanent part of our library. Our library is extensive, you know, and I think that it really came to life for us. We were in Florence, and we were walking around exploring, and there was this tiny little like doorway with a little person sort of making things at this little tiny table. I mean, it was tiny, and this woman was putting together, you know, just things right on the spot. And so the whole idea of make your own happened from that, and the whole idea of being able to find, you know, see these beautiful things and put them together in your own special way. And that's really the whole impetus for the Sequin line, and to be able to really live in your layers and create your personal look.
I love that you talked about that because it was literally my next question. It's one of the things I love Sequin, about with the brand the most. You have this customization, you also have this personalization aspect. How do people that are coming to the website, go about doing that for themselves? Are there guides? Are there ways? Because not everyone is bold enough to choose, like, oh, this is what I want to do.
The website, in terms of navigation, there's different sections. There's different areas you can go for collections. There's the make your own category, and on that category we have the chains that you can choose from, even a pearl or some precious strand. So all of these elements and talismans, whether it's your birthstone or your zodiac or evil eyes, celestial, all the different categories are on there so that you can choose from there and be able to slide it onto the chain and make your own. And again, it's not just one. You can pile them up, you can put your initial, you can marry that with your birthstone, but you happen to love stars, and put that all together. So it's really a personal choice.
I love that. And also, it's awesome that if a person is able to do that and give it to someone else to show how they think of that person or how well they think they know of that person. You might find a lot about that. So, we're thinking about holiday. One of the things that we like to ask a lot of people is kind of like looking at this year and looking at next year. So from a brand perspective, we have something called New Year, New You, and I'm sure your brand is thinking about what are we doing this year and what's going on next year. So for this year, what are the good things that took place for Sequin and even yourself, personally, professionally?
Wow,
I know.
A lot has happened. I mean, I think it's like the last 2 years, let's say, with everything that's going on in the world. And I think that, looking at it from the perspective of, what are the benefits that have happened? I think that time sort of flattening for everybody afforded us a reflection to look and say, okay, how am I using my time? And what should I be spending my time on? What's important? And, for me, that's creativity and my family and getting in that time to really explore and to be in that space. And, I think that grind and, everything's turned on its head. And I think, in a way, that's the gift, that we had to really be introspective and figure out a way to do things in a more efficient and effective way.
True. And so what are the things that maybe you or as the brand were thinking that you were going to take care of this year, but decided, well, we're going to add it into next year, and that's going to be a focal point then. So is there any of what we call the add that would be in there?
Well, I think for the brand, we want to keep evolving, and we want to do it in a very positive way. We really want to exude really positive, empowering pieces, as well as just forwarding, our jewelry aesthetic, and really innovating in terms of wearability and inclusivity, and making sure that we, that we really put the thought into each and every piece, so that when we wear our layers or our pieces, whether it's one by itself or together, there's a cohesiveness that goes with it, and that's from an aesthetic and a quality and personalization point of view.
And then finally, for that portion of the question, we always want to think about the buzz. What are things taking place next year that you're able to share that we should keep an eye out for, so that we can be excited to participate with you, with your brand?
Well, I think one thing is we really want to continue to innovate in the whole create your own space, and really get to a much more immersive experience with that, and really innovate on engaging our audience, and developing a tribe, that can really be part of this whole family, and that really has that, again, that empowerment, and just making sure that we're reaching out in the right way, and we're engaging in the right way.
Wow, I love that, and I think you guys have done that, so I can't wait to see what's happening in 2023. I know a lot of people who have watched previous Design List events we've done are always excited to hear more about the brand, getting to see who you are. I mean, if you have not seen her illustrations that she makes when she creates the pieces, they're fantastic. I mean, I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
But our readers and our viewers and our listeners also like knowing about, well, what's the style? Like, how do we do this? Like, holiday layering style, obviously it sounds like a lot of fun. We are now going to start looking at 3 different types of holiday looks. Like I said at the top, you know, when we go out to do something, maybe you just finished going from like, you know, one place to the next place, and maybe you're not going to change your outfit. We're going to show you 3 typical type of outfits that you might be wearing or genres that you're wearing. And then Tara's also going to speak to the fact of what are these layers that are being worn. So Michelle's actually going to join us in a couple of seconds. She is wearing studio to street. You know I love a good workout section. Come on in. I love a good workout section. She is rocking 3 people with their top and leggings, which I love the fun top, but you know, regardless of what the temperature is, you're going to wear a fun jacket with it, which is also 3 people. And we also have a fun side bag for your water bottle, because you have to carry it around, you don't want to leave it, it is not going in this bag. But more importantly, when we talk about layering, in addition to the layer she has on, she has a phenomenal series of jewelry pieces with that. Can you talk a little bit about how you approach that? What are these pieces? How do we layer?
Sure. So she has on our Cloud 9 necklace, which is that big, wonderful Baroque freshwater pearl in the center, integrated into the chain, and it's a really contemporary way to wear a pearl. Again, that's from, you know, the whole antiquity perspective, but it's just a very contemporary way to wear it. And she's married it with our initial that has the green inlay, which is just a great color add, and the proportion of that works really well with anything in terms of your initial. And then also there's a little, oh, that's Evil Eye. That's our super evil eye, which you can wear long or short, and that has the gems embedded in it. We really feel strongly about integrating fun, sparkly color, especially now. Just really exudes that whole positive vibe that we're going for. And then there's also a little moon, which is, I love this moon, mother of pearl inlay with little crystal details and star points in it. So again, this look is, she has the choker, her pearl choker, her initial, the moon talisman, and the super evil eye long neck, because layers include, you know, all the way down to the waist. And there's, you know, that's one way to put these layers on.
And I love that. I love the fact that you're wearing this outfit, clearly, you know, you were doing before, but you can totally still like meet up with your friends to grab, you know, cocktails around the corner, or go to your girlfriend's house, and now it has become a party that you didn't even know about. So I think this is something that is definitely a lot of fun, and this is an amazing look. My legs in the moon is so cute. Thank you so much, Michelle. Now, one of the things that I think about a lot is I am a brunch girl. Emma is going to show how much I love brunch. We have these transitional periods of the year that are going on. I love a good jacket. I love the fact of having a thicker, you know, type of shirt that maybe if it's not super, super cold, this can double. So we have Tracksmith, which is actually a running brand. But you can totally like make it fun. She's pairing it with a fun Free People onesie, which I love that. And then she has this amazing series of layers. Like, can you speak to what's going on here?
This is our Celestial, from our Celestial collection for holiday. And so she has on there, the first layer is that really fun, just clean sparkle CZ line necklace as a choker. And then as well, she's wearing our new open work superstar pave pendant, as well as our long supernova necklace, which is, again, something you can wear short or long.
I love the option.
Yeah, it's fun, because again, if you're changing your look during the day, you can just take off the things on top and make that short, and you have a statement neck.
I love that. And in this photo shoot that we're going to do after, which it won't be on air, but you'll see it later on the link, you're going to see the different ways ways that these pieces are worn, so you kind of have like a bit of a style guide. And you heard Tara's comments, you can play the podcast and watch this video and make sure you're right. And of course, thank you so much, Emma. And of course, there's this idea that there's the dinner party. Maybe it's New Year's Eve, maybe it's like a glam Thanksgiving. So we have Liv, who is going to rock out with an amazing dress that you can wear. I love a plunging neckline. This is from Yandy. We have her paired with a Dabney Dover, it's actually a convertible bag, speaking of convertibles, that has a very long strap, but you can actually wear it as a short one, so as a clutch. And once again, stunning necklaces. This is giving me like a bit of a Studio 54, 70s vibe, but you can talk more about these jewelry pieces, of course.
Yep. So this is really about the color, and so we, in this particular layered look, we've got the baguette with all of that color integrated. There's that crystal baguette choker she's wearing first. And then we go into the eagle eyes and all of the different variations of them. So she's got one that has a little malachite in the center. The other one is a slider, almost like a bead that slides on with crystals in it. And the super, she's also wearing the Y neck, which is just a really sexy layer to add in the mix. And then finally the super eye necklace there, also again a convertible. That one has these wonderful gems in it. It was hand sculpted and it was inspired by Gustav Klimt, those paintings that have beautiful mosaics. So again, just getting all of that amazing color integrated into the pieces themselves.
I mean, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Liv. So we just saw 3 different types of styles and or looks. Once again, when you go on nimelist.com/shop-the-show, you're actually going to see, yes, all of this is a photo shoot, but you're also going to see the individual pieces so that you can purchase them for yourself. So I'm thinking of the fact, when you think about gifting, are you having any special gifting packages that you're doing as we head into the holiday season, or is there anything that's going on that you're doing for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Like, what's Sequin doing?
We're doing a lot of all of that.
I was going to say it's all that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is, you have to dabble across the board, but we're constantly working on new ways to gift and to, you know, get our message out there through the, you know, the experience of the boxing and opening the package. We do integrate the artwork into that, so that's sort of a fun way to really make it a little bit more special. We do have Black Friday events. We have a gift guide that's on social media, and that's on now, I believe, so you can, you know, get an idea of what these wonderful gifts can be from our collection.
I love that.
So it's just going to be ongoing from here on out.
Yep.
But again, it's across the board, and we have all kinds of little events online, and you know, the inspiration for the gifting and all of that happening.
I love that. And you know, as we start to wrap it up, what are some style tips that you have in terms of just when people are looking at all of these beautiful pieces that you have?
Well, I think it's just have fun, you know, and be brave in terms of maybe wearing something you wouldn't think could be worn together. I think, and that's definitely would be the pearls. It's something that could become a little bit too old, but when you marry it with some of these other fun things, like you have on the Cloud 9 neck, it's really fun. And sometimes it's stepping out of your comfort zone and trying different layers that can lead to something that feels really new and fun.
Oh, I love that. And you know, once again, when you go on nimelist.com/shop-the-show, we are going to have all of that on there. You'll have the videos here. We also are doing a fun giveaway, which there's going to be full details about that when you hit that, you know, later on tomorrow, which you guys are offering some items in there too. So we will figure that out and have that listed on there. So we're so excited about that. And you know, I cannot thank you enough for having me come here, seeing you in person, being such an admirer for a long period of time, and also like breaking down style and holiday wearing, because I think that's so important, and you know, the sparkle that you give is just really amazing.
Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure, and you've been so wonderful to work with, and your support means so much. And you know, again, I think it's just about the pursuit of magic.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Because we need the magic. So we're going to close out. You can see all these 3 books together. So come back into the shot here, and when you're thinking about what is it that you want to wear, what do you want to do, where are you going, there's so many fun things to do that you can play in your closet as well as playing with your accessories at the same time. And I think all the models that are here right now, obviously Tara, the Sequin brand, you can't see our makeup artists, but our amazing makeup artists who are also here, and just being in this showroom, it's so nice to be in person with people, which is also fun too.
Yeah.
And I thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon, and we'll make sure to email all of you and notify you when the site is up for all of the stuff that you can look at.